Good evening, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Our top story this evening out of Miami, where a brand new pedestrian bridge collapsed this afternoon.
Authorities say there are several fatalities. ABC's Zachary Keish has more.
Out of nowhere, there's cars stuck under there.
The bridge was installed less than a week ago to increase safety to a busy part of the Florida International University campus, where officials say heavy traffic's been a problem for a long time.
It felt as if there was an earthquake, so me and my roommate jumped up and looked outside. And as soon as I looked outside, I saw dust flying everywhere, and I knew that the bridge had collapsed.
The bridge was intended to improve pedestrian access across Tamiami Trail from FIU's main campus to Miami's Sweetwater section, where thousands of students live in off-campus housing or in the school's newer dorm. Florida International University is one of the largest universities in the country, and because of the growing enrollment, has been sprawling across southwest Miami-Dade County for the last 2 decades. 8th Street, where the bridge collapsed, is a major thoroughfare that runs from downtown all the way to the Everglades. The Florida Highway Patrol says at least 5 or 6 vehicles were crushed when the bridge collapsed. Zachary Keish, ABC News, New York.
Here in the Suncoast, we're learning new information about a Sarasota man facing federal charges after more than 2 tons of explosives were found inside his home.
Tonight, the man's brother speaks exclusively to ABC7, shedding some insight into the man's past and his plans for all of those explosives. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from the studio this evening to give us some more details. Jess?
Jacqueline, Scott, 56-year-old Mark Levine lived with his mother on Pelican Cove Road. That's where police say they found 4,000 pounds of quick match and 858 rounds of .22 caliber ammunition, all of which police believe to be explosive materials. Levine's brother, Julian Levinsky, says Levine was a very troubled and problematic child. At age 10, Levinsky says Levine was already obsessed with fire and would set fires inside and outside of their family's home. Levinsky says his brother has been arrested several times, and after he got out of jail one of those times, a convicted felon, he moved in with his mother into Pelican Cove and started a business called Mark the Pyro Guy. Levinsky says his brother would sell explosives to people all across the country, that this illegal activity was going on for years. Levinsky visited his brother in 2003 and says his mother's home, her shed, garage, and everything was filled with explosives, fireworks, boxes, and packing wrap.
I know that he was getting these huge bolts of fireworks fused from China. For me, it was frightening, but for my mother, you know, she essentially just has had this horrific, dire fear of being alone.
Levine was indicted by a federal grand jury about a month ago. He is behind bars awaiting trial. I asked Levinsky if he thought his brother had any plans for those explosives other than selling them. I'll tell you what he had to say coming up at 6. Scott.
All right, Jess, thanks so much. Well, for the first time, we are seeing the actions that took place outside Stoneman Douglas High School during last month's school shooting.
The Broward County Sheriff's Office releasing this edited 27 minutes of surveillance video today. The footage shows Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School on the afternoon of the Valentine's Day massacre. In it, you see the school resource officer, Scott Peterson, responding to the initial call of shots fired. Peterson appears in an exterior hallway where he says he took up a tactical position. Inside, a former student shooting and killing 17 people. Authorities say Peterson was armed but stayed outside of the building. We'll have more on this story coming up at 6. And new at 5, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man for bringing a concealed firearm onto the campus at Lakeview Elementary. Deputies say 48-year-old Wilfred Nazario went to pick up his grandson from school after a dispute, and a witness saw him take a black firearm out of his car and place it in his waistband before walking on campus. Deputies got to Lakeview and asked Nazario if he had a gun. He was later arrested and charged with 1 count of possession of a concealed firearm on a school campus.
New developments tonight about a death investigation in Venice. Venice police are investigating the death of a 23-year-old woman. Police say her body was found off South Park Boulevard in Venice around 7:45 this morning. Police have not said how the woman died or released her name yet.
This is a troubling situation, and we're obviously concerned. We don't know at this point whether or not we're dealing with a homicide, but we are very initial into our investigation, and we're hoping to come back with some more information soon.
Police say this does appear to be an isolated incident and there's no danger to the community.
Happening tonight, representatives with the Florida Department of Transportation are hosting a public hearing on improvements to a stretch of US 41 in Sarasota County. FDOT wants to add a median, paved shoulders, bike lanes, sidewalks, and many other improvements from 41 to Blackburn Point Road to McIntosh Road. You can get a look at that proposed design at the meeting tonight. It will be at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Parish on Burney Road in Osprey and scheduled to start at 6 o'clock. Excuse me. Now to a project hoping to get more people out of their cars here in Sarasota.
County commissioners recently approved a bond referendum for voters to consider this fall, approving funds necessary to extend the Legacy Trail, which currently runs from Venice and stops just south of Clark Road in Sarasota. That's where ABC 7's Adam Cellini joins us live tonight with more on the referendum and what people are already saying about the price tag. Adam?
Yeah, Scott and Jacqueline, good evening. I'm standing on former railroad tracks here that have since been pulled up, and that's because the county has already purchased this stretch of railroad. It's about 1.7 miles for a price tag of $7.9 million from impact fees and other revenue sources. But in order to get the trail all the way to downtown Sarasota, nearly 9 more miles, it could cost $65 million, which is what voters will have to approve in a bond referendum coming up later this fall. Now, the Legacy Trail currently runs from Venice to Culverhouse Park. It's approximately 12.5 miles of former railroad turned into walking trails. The county says it attracts over 200,000 people every year. This extension will be approximately 9 miles to Payne Park in downtown Sarasota. It will include 2 overpasses, one at Clark Road and one at Bee Ridge Road for people to use, and other amenities like bathrooms. But the total cost of buying the property and converting it into that final trail will be an estimated $65 million. Here's what people have to say about that price.
I think it is a good use of tax money. A lot of people use the trail. A lot of people enjoy it.
I guess it depends on your interest. I would like it because it's near me and I can jump on a bicycle and go just about to Venice all the way up to in town.
What's the benefit to the county and the citizens of this abandoned railroad? It's an eyesore. It doesn't promote any beneficial use at all.
Now expect to see a lot more talk about this over the next couple of months. That vote will be on the November 6th general election ballot. Live here in Sarasota, I'm Adam Cellini. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Adam, thank you. This was the kind of day I'd like to be on that trail riding a bike.
I know, it was just gorgeous out. Let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrington.
Yes, as anticipated, temperatures today in the upper 60s, not quite in the 70s. That'll be tomorrow. A beautiful day in store tomorrow. It'll still be cool, though. Just like we saw this morning, lows were into the mid-40s across most of the area, and even some low 40s well inland. So a bit of a chill in the atmosphere, and then we'll see temperatures tomorrow in the mid-40s to upper 40s. With the dew point temperature still low at 38 degrees, that makes the humidity extremely low, 37% right now. We have high pressure still kind of slipping over the state right now. This is going to continue to move off in this direction. As it moves off in this direction, our winds will then become a little bit more easterly, and that will allow us to see warmer temperatures still on in through the afternoon on Friday. So it should be just absolutely outstanding. Right now, 65 in Sarasota, 71 now in Orlando, 73 in Miami, 71 in Key West, and 67-degree temperature. Currently forecast for Jacksonville. We'll see lows dropping down into the 50s there. Again, at 1 o'clock in the morning, we should be around 53 here. So look for the 40s to start things off by 7. More on your weather forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joining us now, and a bit of a mixed market to start off on Wall Street today.
A mixed market, but I have good news. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up for the first time in 4 days, so it's not all terrible. Believe it or not, the most common question I get is, how did the stock market do today? Well, the answer is your definition of the stock market. If you mean the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it was higher. If you mean the NASDAQ Composite Index, it was lower. And the Standard & Poor's 500 Index, which is the best single measure, frankly, went almost nowhere. So you decide how the market did today. I can tell you it had a very, very strong opening. We were up by 295 points at the start of the day. So let's take a look at the figures. They're not that good, but they are mixed. There you see the Dow up 116 points, almost 0.5% at 24,873.66. That on volume of 801 million shares. The NASDAQ was the loser of the day, but only down by 0.2%, down 15 points at 7,481.74. That on volume of 1,909 million shares. And the S&P, as I said, almost nothing, down 2 points, less than 0.1% at 2,747.33. Well, now here's a good job if you can get it. The gentleman who happens to be the chairman of Wells Fargo, today it was announced that he only got a 36% increase in his salary. Now remember, this is the same Wells Fargo that has been censured by the Fed. It has had numerous scandals. And so, by the way, Mr. Tim Sloan got a 36% raise. His salary last year in 2016 was $13 million. This year it has increased to $17.4 million. And oh, by the way, that $17.4 million does not include $87,000 that the bank gave him to increase the security system in his own home. So if you'd like to apply for that job, I don't think he's done terribly well, but apparently the board of directors thinks he's entitled to a 36% raise. So, so be it.
Yeah. Well, what about Williams-Sonoma? What's the news on that company?
Well, I heard Jacqueline's been out there shopping. The stock was up by 2% today, better top line and bottom line, and a lot of people think that's a pretty nice store.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Thanks so much, Richard.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, crews are battling a brush fire near Venice. We'll tell you what they think might have caused that blaze.
And how to better protect yourself from sunburns, coming up in Health Smart.
The ABC7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Car experts and customers agree. There's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $239 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips. And if you love the sun, you're gonna love Mobile, where Mardi Gras is king, and the accommodations will make you feel like royalty. You can take a little drive, explore Dauphin Island, or explore the past. We're talking the USS Alabama. check out these big guns. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
It's California Closet's lighting and accessories sales event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
Fire crews in Venice had their hands full this afternoon after a brush fire broke out near Casperson Beach.
The dry conditions and the heavy vegetation in that area only fueled the spread of the flames. ABC 7's Rick Adams is live at the scene off Harbor Drive in Venice. He joins us now with an update. Rick?
Yeah, guys, this fire is now under control. It happened deep back there. Fire officials say it started just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. The fire did burn about 10 acres near Casperson Beach. Crews from Venice, Sarasota County, and Florida Forest Service are on hand.
This was quite a tactical objective for us. The access point for us was at the south end of Casperson's, and it was about 2 miles back on basically a bike or walking trail. And when you're trying to take heavy brush vehicles or fire apparatus to that point, it became quite a task. So we took some chainsaw work and some ingenuity, and we made it.
And we're being told one person was taken to the hospital for smoke inhalation. His condition is unknown at this time. And at this time, it's not known exactly what started this fire. We'll have a lot more on this throughout the night. Reporting live from Venice, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
All right, Rick, thanks. Really no surprise that there's a brush fire because it is so dry out there.
Yeah, the humidity is extremely low, and when that happens, fires can spread very rapidly. That's what the story is with the high fire danger. And you'll see some watches and warnings out there right now, in fact. Clear skies at Lakewood Ranch, you can see that. No rain around, dry conditions, and breezy conditions, not as windy as it has been, and that's good news for the firefighters. So we'll be dealing with an increasing humidity as we approach the weekend, but for the most part, that's still very low humidity out there. Well, get a look at this. The red tide midweek report came out on Wednesday, and came out Wednesday from the FWC, and we're starting to see reds showing up. That's not the best news. That's from Venice about southward down to Minnesota Beach and Inglewood, and places to the south all the way down off of Lee County near Fort Myers and Naples. Red tide is an irritant, especially for beachgoers, so keep that in mind. It can also kill fish if it gets into the low to high concentrations. And you can see right now, we have greater than 1 million cells per liter where the red concentrations have showed up. And it looks like about 14 samples or so are showing background to high concentrations in Sarasota County, none in Manatee County, and for the most part, none north of Venice. So it has been spotty too, so it's not the whole beach that's being impacted by this red tide. Well, look at the fire weather warning. These are where humidities are lower than 35%. And on top of that, there's a bit of a wind. You can see that down into Charlotte County, into also Lee County. That's mainly for the eastern portion of the counties. Pinellas County also included in that. And no freeze warning tonight over to the north. They had one this morning, though. Currently, it's 65 degrees, clear skies. It's nice. And the humidity, 37%. So we're just above that problem as far as the threshold goes for the fire danger. Winds out of the west-northwest at 15 miles an hour. That would be the sea breeze kicking in. Dew point temperatures are extremely low, into the 30s now in Sarasota. Teens in Orlando, 24 now in Jacksonville. That really gives you an idea how dry things are. Typically this time of year, the dew points into the upper 50s to low 60s. And a temperature forecast is calling for low temperatures to start the morning off. One more day in the 40s, I think. And by Saturday morning, we'll say goodbye for those 40s. Now, as far as the highs go tomorrow, into the mid to upper 70s. We are anticipating high temperatures there to be back in the 70s, both on Friday and Saturday. Looking really quite nice here along the Sun Coast for St. Patrick's Day, looking very nice. Now, the Northeast continuing to deal with the after effects of that nor'easter. Another one is possibly heading that way. Right now, computer forecast models are suggesting that it may not be as significant as the last three, but nonetheless, any kind of snow will be a problem for those folks. You can see temperatures currently into the 30s in Toronto, Cleveland, Detroit, Minneapolis. And then highs tomorrow will be 35 in Toronto, 31 in Cleveland. So no bitterly cold temperatures here. Basically a warm up in the central United States. Kansas City will get up to 56 tomorrow. St. Louis 44. For boaters, tomorrow looks good. East winds turn to the northwest with that sea breeze developing in the afternoon. A light chop on the bays and inland waters Here's the 7-day forecast then. Looks good on St. Patrick's Day, mid-70s. We'll see low 70s near the beaches, mid-70s in Lakewood Ranch and Arcadia. Low tonight will be right around 46 degrees. And then we warm up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. There will be some 80-degree temperature readings on both Sunday and Monday. Increasing clouds as spring moves in. 40% chance for showers for spring on Tuesday. And then slightly cooler comes Wednesday and Thursday. Back to you.
Bob, thanks so much. Let's take a look at First Alert traffic. You can see traffic on I-75. Looks like it's getting worse as you head north from Sarasota County all the way through Manatee County. Really slow going, but on a brighter note, if you are heading south, no issues. It's all green on the map at this hour. Jacqueline.
Thanks, Scott. In health news tonight, light it up and work it out. And that's the mantra of Break the Stigma Fitness in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Owners call it the first cannabis-friendly fitness facility in the world. Recreational marijuana is legal in Colorado, and they believe it should be an option when it comes to fitness. But the facility does not sell pot. Instead, they gift it for free to customers as samples. The gym is open to the public, but you can't just walk in and take part. You do have to request an invite via email and provide registration information ahead of time. And daylight saving time is here with longer days of sunlight ahead, but each year more than 1 in 3 Americans are getting sunburn. And the CDC is now asking who is most at risk and why. ABC's Tara Palmieri has more.
Long before beach season, a new study, who gets sunburn and why? The Journal of the American Medical Association finds it's not that we don't know how to protect ourselves against sunburn, we just aren't doing it enough. The study included more than 30,000 adults and found that the most common ways of avoiding sun exposure for women is staying in the shade and using sunscreen. For men, it's more about wearing clothes that cover arms or legs and heading for the shade. But adults are avoiding sun damage like this to only a third of the time they are exposed. Sunburn is more common among younger, sun-sensitive, and physically active adults. Researchers found that people who use self-tanning products or are binge drinkers are more likely to have a sunburn by about 20%. Remember, just heading outdoors for a run can increase your risk of sunburn by 15% if you don't protect yourself. Wearing sunscreen, covering up, and heading for the shade will help. As for sunscreen, don't be shy, reapply. With this Medical Minute, I'm Tara Palmieri, ABC News.
Coming up, a camper dangles over the side of I-275. We'll tell you what led to that scary situation in St. Pete. And one woman is celebrating after hooking the catch of a lifetime in Australia. Those stories and more straight ahead.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Drive a brand new 2018 Lincoln MKC for $279 per month or the Lincoln MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment. Every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you!
Mark Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
It's California Closet's Lighting and Accessories Sales Event. Save up to $1,000 now through April 30th. Call 1-800-CAL-CLOSETS for your free design consultation or visit us online at californiaclosets.com.
Caught on camera, a scary scene in St. Petersburg this afternoon as crews removed a camper that was dangling over the side of I-275.
And despite the dramatic images, there were somehow no injuries involved. Take a look. You can see the camper attached to a Ford Explorer hanging over an overpass. It happened after the Explorer was hit by a Hyundai passing by, forcing the Explorer into the concrete barrier wall. The driver of that Hyundai was later cited for careless driving.
In Australia, a 68-year-old woman's fishing trip with her son turned into a record breaker after she reeled in a massive fish. Look at this thing. Sue Elcock was spending the day fishing with her son when suddenly there was a nibble on the line. 40 minutes later, she reeled in a 130-pound bass grouper, which was more than 5 feet long. She's now known as a legend on the boat, pulling in its biggest catch ever.
Oh my goodness, I've pulled in a 73-pound tuna before, and I had to have people help me with that, so I could only imagine how many people had to help her.
It was like as big as a couch, you know?
Oh my goodness. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, the latest on what led to a fatal Navy jet crash near Key West.
And we'll tell you why Toys R Us is closing all of its stores across the country. That story coming up.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call, let us give you some peace of mind.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Impreza is an IIHS top safety pick for 11 years running. Lease the all-new 2018 Subaru Impreza for just $195 a month for 42 months with zero due at signing. That's right, not one penny. Get more for your money during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a news editor with a nonlinear editing background and experience with breaking news and live shots. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.